There are so many things that we could talk about, and we will, some of the ways that creation blesses us. I want to start with Robin Wall Kimmerer in her book, The Serviceberry, Abundance and Reciprocity in the Natural World. She writes about the gift economy. Service berries are a berry that you can pick in June. And so she writes, this pail of June berries represents hundreds of gift exchanges that led up to my blue-stained fingers. The maples gave their leaves to the soil. The countless invertebrates and microbes who exchanged nutrients and energy built the humus with a service in which a serviceberry seed could take root. The cedar waxwing dropped the seed, the sun, the rain, the early spring flies pollinated the flowers. The farmer wielded the shovel to tenderly settle the seedlings. They are all parts of the gift exchange by which everyone gets what they need. In her tradition, she says, in the Anishinaabe worldview, it's not just fruits that are understood as gifts. Rather, all of the sustenance that the land provides, from fish to firewood, everything that makes our lives possible, splints for baskets, roots for medicine, trees whose bodies make our homes and the pages of our books, all provided by the more than human beings of creation. And this is true whether it's harvested directly from the forest or whether it's mediated by commerce and harvested from the shelves of a store. It all comes from the earth. When we speak of these things not as things or natural resources or commodities, but as gifts, our whole relationship to the world changes. The only way a gift economy works is because of the generosity of creation. The ancients were perhaps closer to the land than we are today in much of the world. And so we hear the example of creation in the psalm and in many other psalms, how the creation gifts us. For our purposes today, I love the image of how when we understand the economy to be created with gifts, we're more easily able to see abundance. Robin Wall Kimmerer talks about the sun's flow, creating all that's possible. And she asks, what's the sun in the human world? She posits that maybe it's love. So what is a gift economy exactly? A gift economy is an economic system where goods and services are given freely without an explicit expectation of payment. That contrasts with a market economy or a barter economy, right? This free exchange fosters community interdependence and social bonds rather than financial transactions. It often relies on delayed reciprocity and the idea of community abundance rather than scarcity. In gift economies, there are no quid pro quos. The social norms and customs govern the exchange of gifts. And so I would point today, well, here's a simple example. Fran babysits for my children. I teach Sally's brother-in-law how to sew, and Sally's brother-in-law cleans out Fran's gutters. Right? There's no expectation. It just happens because people have skills and strengths and talents, and they want to serve one another. It's kind of how the church works, right? So think just about the worship service and the various volunteers that give themselves to this place, their time, their energy, their skills, whether it's baking bread for communion, setting up and cleaning up the coffee hour, music volunteers, the audiovisual, on and on and on it goes. There are other examples of gift economies. You've heard of the little free libraries, right? You can go to a little library that's sitting out in front of someone's yard, borrow a book, and pay it forward. You don't have to bring it back. Another example of the gift economy, and I struggled with this one a little bit, but most of the social media platforms function as gift economies. Users share content, and then relationships are built without direct financial transactions. Now, I also realize that behind the scenes, there's a lot of stuff going on that's perhaps nefarious. And so if we stay at that level, it's a gift economy, right? Exchanging ideas, exchanging affirmation for what someone else has posted, that sort of thing. A better example might be mutual aid. Any of you have heard of mutual aid? It's a movement on Facebook where people can join, like friend that site, and then people who have something to offer the community post on the site. I've got a package of leftover diapers because my grandchildren went home and they couldn't take the diapers on the plane. I've got a child who needs diapers and I ran out of money this month because I had to pay for a medical bill, and they connect and the need is met with a resource that's available. I've seen people find houses to rent, babysitters, offer meals to people who just got out of the hospital who had no one to care for them. It's kind of like a church. It all happens online. This past Friday night, a wonderful event occurred in our building. DUCC provided the space, and the Saugatuck Douglas History Center provided the content. So we watched the movie Everyday People, which featured our own Fred and Joan Hamlin, Andy DeBraber, Carl Jennings, and Larry Gammon. It was a wonderful viewing of that video, but the event itself was supported by people on the board. They had no stake in the game. They weren't being paid. Volunteer audio people, people who set up the screen, people who made it all work, the expertise of the History Center, and our availability of the space. An example of a gift economy. It all happens because creation is replete with resources, a myriad of diversity which she generously displays for our joy and shares for our flourishing. Dan and I have some examples that we want to share with you as we close out this reflection. I hope you're not gonna. Let me switch places. And I can be by the mic.
There are more stars than grains of sand. While one handful of sand contains about 10,000 grains, the observable cosmos is estimated to contain more stars than there are grains of sand on every beach on Earth.
The universe is expanding. The universe is not static. It continues to expand, reflecting a generosity that is continually unfolding.
The planet Saturn, could be that one, has 146 moons.
Every living creature is perfectly designed to exist under the atmosphere's immense pressure. At sea level, over 15 tons of pressure is pushing on every person from all directions.
If Earth were the size of a tennis ball, the sun would be a sphere 24 feet across, approximately a half mile away.
The Earth's core holds enough gold, you heard me right, gold, to cover the entire surface of the planet in a 1.5 foot layer. The sheer amount of untapped mineral wealth speaks to an overflowing, generous design.
Animals are intelligent and cooperate. Crows can remember human faces and even pass on their memory of a threatening face to other crows. African buffalo herds make decisions by voting on which direction to travel. Squirrels plant thousands of new trees every year by burying and then forgetting them.
The earth, a demonstration of lavish abundance, contains over 11,000 species of birds, 100 species of octopus, and 25,000 species of orchids. The Amazon rainforest alone is home to 1/3 of the planet's land species.
A blue whale's tongue. Let me say that again. A blue whale's tongue can weigh as much as an entire elephant.
Fungi, we ought to end with that one, I think.
Can't top that.
Yeah, right? Fungi and bacteria are the Earth's managers. They're responsible for the decomposition of organic matter. Without them, nutrients would not be released back into the soil for new plant growth. They can even consume fossil fuel spills and clean up radiation.
An octopus has 3 hearts.
How come you get all the good ones?
Great, I know.
The longest living organism exists in Oregon. It occupies, a single fungus occupies an area equivalent to 1,600 football fields, and it's estimated to be between 24 and 8,600 years old.
The human heart beats about 100,000 times a day.
The human brain generates more electrical activity in a day than all the world's phones combined.
In a lifetime, the human body produces enough saliva to fill 2 swimming pools. Not kiddie pools either.
The human eye can distinguish over 10 million different colors, and the human nose can detect over 1 trillion different smells.
Human teeth are just as strong as shark teeth, and human bones are stronger than steel, pound for pound.
I invite you in this moment of quiet to contemplate these generosities of creation or others that come to mind.